Hey guys, welcome back. We're talking into our movie segment. We'll jump right into it again. Touching on what I love to jump. It's just like I'm just imagining a pool right in front of me and just jumping right.
It's super hot right now. I love nothing more than
our
that.
podcast room, doubling as my bedroom, is super hot.
On the second floor.
We actually have a little bit of summer now.
Crack that window or something.
No, it's too fucking loud out. That's why, by the way, I have it closed because it's too goddamn loud outside.
Okay.
So that we only got
just trapped in this sauna to do this podcast.
Well, whatever. You're gonna lose a couple pounds.
Fan on or something.
You'll lose a couple pounds and you'll be fine. Movie news. We'll start with what we touched on last week with the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver rumor. It's been confirmed that they're in the movie, but they could possibly not be, depending on rewrites. Mm-hmm. And you made a comment that it's like, how do you explain their powers without touching on Magneto?
Not even just without touching on Magneto, without touching on them being mutants.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the theories out there was that they could be what are those? They're like mutants, but not quite, and they live out in the crazy land, like the others or
the Inhumans.
The Inhumans, that they could be.
I guess Inhumans, they're very much the same as the mutants. They just have these crazy powers that they get when they're young, and they're outcasts of society and all that stuff. So like a lot of that ties over. I just kind of fucking deal with Fox. Like how hard is it for them to be like, yeah, you can use the word mutant in your movie, we'll allow it. It's not a big deal.
I feel like it would actually benefit them. It'd be like, probably. Go watch the mutants over at Fox. We're just going to talk about them. They exist. They happen to live in the same world that we do.
You were saying that Sony was willing to talk about putting like the Oscorp Tower in Avengers or whatever.
But it was too late by the time the deal struck.
Yeah, I'm sure these companies could come to terms and figure something out. So
it'd be cool if in the Avengers / Stark Tower is in Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. That would be interesting to see, because if they made that agreement, they're like, okay, well, why don't we just, instead of having it that way, we say that all that stuff happened before the events of Avengers. And I assume that the Stark Tower is built pretty quick, because they were just talking about it at the beginning of or at the end of Iron Man 2. Were they talking about the tower they wanted to build?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe. He had his own. He had a tower, but in Avengers it was like his whole, it was his own power and all that stuff, right? It was
the movie starts with him coming out of the water, separating the tower from the power grid.
Yeah, so I guess they could easily have it.
Yeah, well, you just say Spider-Man was around before. No one ever talked about him because he was just kind of like street level.
They have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. So that would be cool. Let's make it happen.
It's fine. It is taking place in New York. You would think Spider-Man would probably do something when the Chitauri attacked.
You would think so, but maybe they just didn't show it. We're following the Avengers.
Maybe Spider-Man had some other thing going on at that point. He couldn't do anything to help, or he was fighting them on his own terms.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
You don't know. We're following the Avengers. We don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, that's true.
I was talking.
It just wasn't coordinated yet.
Yeah, I was talking to Jeremy about this, and it's the most far-fetched idea, but I think it's the coolest thing that could possibly
usually
happen.
How these things work.
It would be that I guess that a long time ago an Avengers movie was pretty far-fetched. Yeah. So this is how I see it. How cool, how you have tie-in movies and stuff, or you have tie-in comics, right, into a main event. How cool would it be if you have something like Avengers versus X-Men type event happen in the movie universe, and you have as a 2-part story between 2 movies. So you have Avengers vs. X-Men in Avengers 1, and then Avengers vs. X-Men 2 in X-Men 6 or whatever it is at that point. And
just
and then you go. So at the end of Avengers, it says how they always say you'll see
Tony Stark will return or whatever.
Yeah, you'll see, follow the story in Fox's X-Men or whatever. Yeah. Next summer.
I would love to see that.
That would be the coolest thing ever.
I can pretty much guarantee that's not going to happen.
Well,
not anytime soon.
I think the thing is, though, would that even work as a good movie idea? Because I think it kind of would.
It is kind of convincing people to see the same movie, pay for the same movie.
Well, no, but it's
a different perspective.
You're not doing it the different perspective. You're continuing the story from one franchise into the next franchise. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how you have all the Marvel movies, but they're not all connected stories all the way through. They are, but it's not one main plot line all the way through. So this is like, that would be if you have one really big event.
But the other thing then, like the writers would have to collaborate to a certain extent with those two companies.
That's true.
It's on them. It's between the two companies to actually get together.
Like, if you're gonna do that, like you do it right and you make it as you pretend it's one giant movie. You cut it into two, and then you collaborate the whole process. That way you get a piece of each company gets a major piece of it, and like.
I think it's gonna be hard. It would be hard for them to come to any sort of agreement on that.
I agree, but that's my my dream.
Sure. As a fan, that would be awesome.
Although Avengers vs X-Men is pretty boring.
There's better storylines they could do.
Yeah.
Civil War would be awesome. I would love to see Civil War.
But you don't even need
the X-Men for that. No. But you just need more Avengers. And we're talking like at the end of Avengers, they're doing all that the news, and there's like the one guy calling for a registration act. So like it's not that they're necessarily planning to do it, but they threw it out there like it's
I only already have what's her name, Maria Hill is kind of like not trusting them very much. Yeah, I already have that built up. Wasn't Maria Hill in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time?
Yeah, Nick Fury was in hiding at the time.
So that's pretty sweet. That's how. I'm sure it's coming. You don't do it Avengers 2, Avengers 3, after Phase 3, and they add in like Black Panther, and you have Ant-Man, and you have Doctor Strange, which is another item that's been confirmed. They're doing a Doctor Strange film.
That's going to be a weird one too, but I mean, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be weird, so we'll see.
It probably will.
I have a lot of faith in these people, especially after seeing Iron Man 3. Like,
well, you know who's playing Gamora, right?
Yeah. Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, and she's gonna be just like a green ass. Like that'd be pretty cool.
I guess if you're into that kind of thing, it's a very specific fetish. But
well, no. I'm just saying she's a pretty attractive
she's a pretty lady.
So yeah, we already touched on the Doctor Strange movie. Sorry, Dan, but Kevin Feige's been downplaying the whole Daredevil reboot thing. But hey, maybe by the time Civil War comes around, he'll be in it. By the way, what happened? What does he do during Civil War? Does he?
Okay, Daredevil plays a decently big part of Civil War. He's obviously against the side of registration.
Yeah.
And at one point, he's captured and he's taken to the negative zone, and he gives Tony Stark a silver coin. He said that's 30 pieces or 31 pieces or whatever, and he calls him Judas, right? For betraying everybody.
Makes sense.
Turns out it's Iron Fist the whole time. Daredevil wasn't in it. Iron Fist was under was taking the mantle of Daredevil for that whole time. Like if you go back and read the comic, Iron Fist isn't in it at all. I can't remember exactly why, but Matt Murdock, like, he had something, like he was gone. He was just whatever, and Iron Fist was taken over as Daredevil. So that was all Danny Rand.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to.
No, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying. I love Daredevil, and I was disappointed when I found out about that.
Man, an Iron Fist movie and Iron Fist and
Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire. That'd be sweet. That could be a TV show.
Yeah, well,
that'd be a good TV show. It's like the A-Team, but with cool powers.
Maybe they'll show up in the Shield show.
Yeah, maybe. And like Daredevil could be part of that
Murdock.
Too. He's he's the lawyer side of it. Like that, people would love to see that. Yeah. Like the law courts and like you don't have to just do a superhero thing. There could be like
you just tease it like, oh, there's a blind lawyer, and then we find out that his name's Matt Murdock, and then all of a sudden there's talk of the guy who's going around and he's kicking ass in Hell's Kitchen.
That'd be sweet to see a TV show of Heroes for Hire.
Then there's some set photos of the Falcon on the set of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. He looks kind of little cheesy on the.
Oh, I thought it looked alright.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Better than his costume in the comics. There's no way.
Well, he wanted a more cheesy costume, by the way, and that's what they gave him, the more militaristic.
Yeah, it looks very tactical. And then the wings are going to be CGI in later. But I don't know. I think it looked that bad.
How are you gonna like?
It is kind of
gonna work. I don't understand.
And is he gonna have all his other powers? Like he can like talk to birds and stuff. He's like the Aquaman of birds.
No, he's not. I assume no. I mean, if you make an Aquaman movie, that's probably like the least thing you talk about is his ability to talk to fish.
Well, the way they've done it in the New 52, though, it's not that he talks to fish; it's that he can control fish. Yeah. Like he can just,
tell them.
It's a bit cooler that way. He can just make a shark attack you. It's not that he's asking it for help.
And they do have giant crabs, the Atlanteans.
They got some of those.
Every time you see anything in the comics, there's just giant crabs all the time.
And he's riding on top of it. In Injustice, too.
That's true. Yeah, giant crabs. Fantastic Four, more Fox stuff. There's some casting news that's rumor, not so much as... I
think it's just that they're being considered for the role.
So from Chronicle, it's Michael B. Jordan, as the Flash. So we talked about that he is a black guy. He's a black man.
He's a black person.
Which, if they the same, and like the next story was that
Johnny Storm is not traditionally.
No,
black,
he's not
like
traditionally black. Allison Williams. Well, thank you, because we're not just being racist. Allison Williams from Girls, I guess that's a TV show, is being considered for Sue Storm.
It's a stupid TV show.
So I've never seen it, but it doesn't.
You can tell by the title.
Yeah, like I don't even want to watch it. Anyway, so that makes no sense because they're supposed to be brother and sister, unless they do some sort of adoption thing,
or like step brother and sister. Like I'm like, it's not a huge deal. He's a cool actor. He's in The Wire. You should watch that show. It's a great.
I know.
show.
It's on my list of things to do.
I'll trade you The Wire for Star Wars Clone Wars. They're both 5 seasons.
How many episodes are in a season of The Wire? 10?
I don't know, and they're also hour-long episodes.
Yeah,
but
well, there's 22 episodes of.
I'm sure maybe it evens out. I don't know.
It's pretty close, probably. Anyway, do you care about the Fantastic Four reboot?
I do.
Do you think it's gonna be cool?
Like I care about all these superhero movies. I want them to do well.
Yeah, we're all gonna go see them first day. Yeah. So,
Fantastic Four 1 wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was that bad. The Silver Surfer they screwed up, and Galactus they screwed up. But the first one, just their origin story, was not that bad.
I never liked what's her name, is Sue Storm.
Jessica Alba.
I didn't like her.
Yeah,
no.
Well, I mean, she
was even worse in that second one.
What? Yeah, as an actress, or just because of how she.
I just don't like her as an actress generally, but I really didn't like her as Sue Storm. Mostly as having what's his name is Johnny Storm?
Yeah.
Was
Chris
cool.
Evans? Yeah,
but I mean, that's obviously not...
he's in a better place now.
Yeah.
He's Cap.
Oh, he's the least paid, like the lowest paid Avenger, by the way. But whatever, I'm sure he'll get a new deal.
Yeah.
I'm not... Fantastic Four is not really up my alley. I know it's good stuff, but it's just, for me, it's not the most exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. The only thing is, like, if people had an issue with Jessica Alba as Sue Storm based on how she looks, they're gonna have a huge issue with this guy as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to complain
I don't know,
about
a couple of years ago, there was a whole big... When they were doing Amazing Spider-Man, there was a big thing, Donald Glover?
Yeah.
He plays Troy in Community.
Yeah.
There was somebody had tweeted at him that he should be Spider-Man, and like a lot of people got like behind it and like were like, yeah, Donald Glover for Spider-Man. It was a whole big thing. Yeah. And like everybody hated it because you can't make Spider-Man black. But like, so if that happens, there's going to be a big backlash for it. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Isn't the new Ultimate Spider-Man black?
Is he?
I think so.
I haven't read any of the Ultimate stuff.
I can't remember his name now. Anyway,
that sounds
he's either black or Latino, and
pretty much the same thing.
After after Peter Parker dies, then he gets like I don't know. Though I haven't reading Ultimates because it's too hard to try to follow 3 universes, let alone 2.
Yeah.
But more non-Marvel movies is there's a good look at the Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Looks kind of weird. Looks a little. Yeah. I guess it's set photo, so there could be CGI stuff coming, but
he's not the main villain, right?
You'd assume not,
because the Rhino is never like he's not a mastermind by any means.
No,
he's essentially just a thug. He's the muscle. So he's probably. Is it going to be tied into the whole like mutation thing?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's cool because actually in the video game of the movie, it wasn't the greatest game, but it wasn't bad. There's a bunch of them, and I think Rhino's one of them actually that you fight, and they're all like the same thing as the lizard. They've been like mutated with this animal DNA. So
that makes sense because you have
Scorpion and Rhino and stuff like that, and there's one rat thing that's really annoying.
So you have Spider-Man who's been mutated by a spider, and obviously worked out well for him. But then you have like the lizard didn't work out as well, but I guess they're gonna keep working. I guess Oscorp is gonna still be behind all this stuff.
In the game, I'm not sure how much the game is gonna really tie the movies together, but it all takes place after Amazing Spider-Man. So Smythe takes over at Oscorp before anything happens to him. He's just a normal dude, and he's taking over at Oscorp or whatever, and they're doing all this research, and then they inject the Rhino and Scorpion and whatever with the I don't remember what it's called, but whatever it is that makes them mutate into this animal thing, right?
The mutagen. Let's call it the mutagen.
Yeah, sure. So
the ooze.
That'd be cool. Smythe's a cool like bad guy. He could be more the mastermind in charge of it all. But at the same time, they kind of flesh that out within the game, so they probably won't do that.
Maybe Smythe was that guy in the post-credit scene in the in the movie. That was a weird scene, but
it was weird. I don't know if I think.
Whatever. I know that
Mysterio or something.
Who is the main villain? It's gonna be.
They've announced it.
Oh, I think they did already. Yeah.
And it's not Osborn.
Well, I think they have. I think
he'll
they
be
cast Oz. He's in it, but I don't think it's not Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Is it Shocker?
Oh, yeah.
I think it might be the Shocker.
Rhino and Shocker. Even then, Shocker never. He also seems like more of a thug than anything. But whatever, we'll see how they do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't. It's funny that he's called the Shocker. Star Wars stuff.
No, it's Electro, not Shocker, right?
Electro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are both Spider-Man villains,
Electro,
and essentially the same. But Electro has a better power set, I think.
And he's not called Shocker.
And is it Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
I think that sounds right.
Man, that was a while ago. We should really research before we talk about this crap.
We usually do. That was supposed to be more just talking about the Rhino.
Yeah.
And just glossing over the fact that we didn't know the rest about the movie. Star Wars stuff, it's going to start shooting next year. I guess that's not really that much of a surprise. Right. And that Abrams wants John Williams back for the score. But he's also like super old. So
he's gotta do it.
Yeah, but I mean there's people out there that are pretty good at doing scores.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Hans Zimmer, who's the Batman and now the Superman guy, and he just released.
He's done a lot though, too, but yeah.
And obviously Inception and other stuff, and those are
Gladiator.
Those are pretty cool. So speaking of which, Warner Brothers released Hans Zimmer's theme for Superman,
and
it's really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all appreciate the Donner Superman theme, which is very iconic. But this is like its own thing, and I like it. But anyways, back to what I was saying is that John Williams is super, super old. If he doesn't come back, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think
it's not the end of the world.
The music from Star Wars is very iconic, and those same themes will still definitely be used. So it's like, how much of a big deal is it really?
I would like to see him back, of course, but this is I don't know. He made that like you said, it's a very iconic soundtrack. It would be great to see him back and adapt it his own way. Mm-hmm. But I obviously someone else can do it. I just would rather see him do it.
I'm really looking forward to how the movie's gonna. Never mind how it sounds, but how it looks, because you have such a drastic change in from the prequels to the original trilogy. And is it going to be an amalgamation between the look of the prequels, which are much shinier?
Yeah, well, I think they want to do, or I think they should do, not so much CGI and do a mix of actual.
Well, you don't have a lot of practicals. I mean, you could do lots of practical aliens and stuff, but you don't have a Yoda anymore, which is you went from a puppet Yoda to a CGI Yoda, and that people were very upset about it.
Yeah,
but I mean, you don't have Yoda; he's dead now. So I mean, unless you do Ghost Yoda.
Which, that's going to be CGI.
Yeah, because it's a ghost Yoda.
I don't know. They could do a decent mix and make it look alright. Either way, it's going to look better than the original trilogy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that looks... it doesn't look dated, but it has a certain dated feel, which is good. I mean, that's what...
It still works. It doesn't take away from the movie, but you can tell.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't avoid that.
There's going to be lots of lens flares, which is...
I don't know. It's cool. It looks cool. A lens flare.
Yeah, one or two. Okay, so there's a few movie news things. You can comment on them if you want. New Wolverine poster with the Silver Samurai. It kind of looks like that original Wolverine poster with this Japanese style painting. Yeah, on a canvas. Yeah. I really like those posters. There was one really bad, ugly poster that came out a couple weeks ago that looked like literally I threw it together in paint. Not even Photoshop. I put it together in paint, and it looked really bad. This is much better. That's cool. We talked about CinemaCon last week with Pacific Rim. The CinemaCon footage from the Wolverine came out online this week. Very similar trailer, but I think it's a little bit better.
Did you get a Wolverine trailer in Iron Man?
No.
Oh, no, we did. It was awesome. I've already seen it, but it was just really cool to see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would have liked to have seen it. We didn't get much trailers at all, actually.
I don't know. I got the Man of Steel. I got Star Trek. I've seen the.
I got the Man of Steel, but the old Man of Steel trailer, not the new one.
No, mine is the new one.
You got the new one?
Yeah, man.
I got
you guys went to the midnight show.
It was in 3D. Did you see it was 3D?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know then. I guess maybe they just didn't have the trailers ready or something.
I saw mine at the VIP theater too.
I've never been. Is it good?
It's alright.
Yeah, is it worth
it? It's expensive.
Is it worth $25 to see a movie?
See, my thing, I have
Yes,
the
yeah,
points
you
card,
got
whatever. So it costs the same for me to see a movie, and then with that card, I get 10% off on concessions. But the cool thing is that you can get your beers and whatever, and you can get like chicken fingers and fries. I got a burger. I wouldn't get a burger again just because it's like weird to eat a burger in the movie. And it's like this little thing. It's really messy and whatever. Yeah. But the chicken fingers and fries are good if you don't feel like popcorn.
I always feel like popcorn.
I also got popcorn.
Then we have a photo from Bryan Singer tweeted out a picture of Kitty Pryde.
Ellen Page?
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, she looks the same. She's
good
Kitty.
For her.
Jurassic Park 4, Dan.
Awesome.
I'm pretty happy. They're going back to Isla Nublar.
Yeah.
So...
I just went and watched the Jurassic Park 1 3D that came out in theaters with my girlfriend, and then she bought me the Blu-rays of all three. So we watched Lost World, and I started rereading Jurassic Park. I was reading it all day today. I'm excited. I love it. I love that book.
So you're happy they're going back to Isla Nublar. What was the name of the island in the third movie?
Sorna.
Isla Sorna?
It's second and third. It's the same island. Isla Nublar is only in the first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
No. Because they
I just watched the movies.
But in the second one, they go back to that front gate section. It's like all like corroded away, and then when she's like on that roof part, and like she's going and like those tiles are falling, and the raptors are on the roof with her. That part's that's like the main entrance into the park.
But it's not the same island.
What?
Yeah, Isla Sorna is the island where a lot of the dinosaurs were grown and brought up, and then they were moved to Isla Nublar. Isla Nublar was supposed to be the park where people would go and see everything, and Isla Sorna was going to be where more of the background stuff was happening. So they didn't have exhibits; they were just dinosaurs.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So they're going to go back to the main island from the first movie.
Yeah, which we haven't seen yet. And in the second movie, they say it got hit by that huge hurricane and another there was a bunch of stuff that happened, so it's been destroyed, But it will be interesting to see what's happening with these dinosaurs that have probably survived. Life finds a way. It will be cool too. They will do you'll see the same the visitor center and the T-Rex pen and that dam and everything.
Yeah.
20 years later.
That'd be cool. Do you think Dr. Grant will be back? Probably not. I would hope not.
Sam Neill, I don't know what he's doing.
I would never. Yeah, but if I was Dr. Grant, I would I'm never going back. Of course, there. Why would I ever want to go back? He didn't want to
go back in the third one either, and they made him.
That's true. He was in the second one though.
No, that was Malcolm, and Malcolm went back for his girlfriend.
That's true.
But I mean, they're gonna have
leave now.
They probably will have one of them in, or maybe it would be sweet if they could all come back. But I don't know if everybody. I don't know. It depends on how they write it, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of the characters are the dinosaurs, not so much the people. I don't think. I mean, people know Dr. Grant, but do they and Ian Malcolm, but
yeah, you don't really care about Dr. Sadler.
Yeah, do you really care about anyone else? Not really.
The kids.
Yeah, I guess maybe the kids are all grown up.
They are all in real life.
I know, but maybe they're all grown up and want to go back. I don't
know if they would want
to go back. But.
I think it's going to be more the reason for the people going back. I don't know who's going to go back. It's going to be some rival company that wants to go back and steal their technology, right?
That makes sense.
The other thing is that whipped cream can with the embryos.
Yeah.
It's technically still there, but they did say, I'm pretty sure in the movie they say that it has a
shelf life,
15-hour shelf life or something like that. So I don't know
if they're going to change that.
I don't know. I was watching the special features on the Blu-ray, and Steven Spielberg said he wanted to go back to that can. There's a scene in the movie where Nedry dies and the can gets washed away, and he's like, the can's still there. I always wanted to go back to that. He never did. I don't know if they will or won't, but
I guess it gets covered in mud.
Yeah.
Then we got what else is. Men in Black, there's going to be another one, and 21 Jump Street 2 that are being written. Tom Cruise is back for Mission Impossible 5. I mean, because what else is he going to do? Then we already touched on the Man of Steel music, which we said we loved. So,
and you're going to put something in the podcast?
Oh yeah, it's going to be the intro to the segment.
Sweet.
If they already heard that though, so
you guys,
this is it's like the future, but we're talking about the past. Even though it's going to happen later. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very...
bear with us.
Movie magic. So we're going to take another break, and we're going to talk video games, and then have a short discussion about House of M, because Dan just reread it, and then we'll jump into Top of the Week after that. Hey guys, thanks for listening to this excerpt from our Tower of Babble podcast. If you want to hear more, you can find the rest at towerofbabblepodcast.com and on iTunes and Stitcher. But we want to know what you think, so send us questions or concerns to towerofbabblepodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter @TowerBabblecast and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TowerBabblecast.